Hello and welcome to the Grumpy Old Man Podcast. There are a lot of things with the direction our world is headed that I find reason to complain about. I'm Harvard Schmarvard. I'm not a big media company pretending to be an individual. I really am an individual. Nothing on this podcast is fake or phony except my name. I'm not a doctor or psychologist. I'm just a grumpy old man, and this is Season 1, Episode 9, Over-the-Counter Pain Relievers and Hot Dogs. This episode is a bit of a collection where I pick on a number of different items that all aggravate me one way or another. I realize that we are all different. Fat kids, skinny kids, kids who climb on rocks. Tough kids, sissy kids, even kids with chicken pox. So, some might have vastly different experiences than me when it comes to some of these things. If you do, please share them in the comments. Let's start with over-the-counter pain relievers. I have a medical history that advises me to avoid NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Common over-the-counter NSAID pills include ibuprofen. Common brands are Advil or Motrin. And naproxen. Common brand here is Aleve. Aspirin is also an NSAID. You take these orally. Diclofenac, common brand here is Voltaren gel. This is a topical gel that you apply to the skin of the affected area. Unfortunately, my medical history also means that I have quite a lot of pain and soreness. Not headaches, but back, neck, hip, and ankle pain, sometimes quite severe. The advice I'm given is to avoid NSAIDs unless the pain is so severe that I must, and then stop taking them as soon as possible. There is an over-the-counter pain reliever that is not an NSAID. Acetaminophen, common brand Tylenol. It does not have the same side effects or warnings, and it is okay for me to take. But it has its own warnings, especially around the maximum amount you can take in a day, and an overdose could be fatal. As if that fatal possibility isn't enough, there is another problem I have with acetaminophen. It does not work for me. I feel absolutely no relief. I might as well just drink water. Due to the nature of my symptoms, I have tried almost all of the over-the-counter topical treatments. Aspercreme, Bengay, Mineral Ice, Icy Hot. Surprisingly, they do help, but only a little bit and only for a very short time. Okay, so here is the point. All of these rely heavily on advertising and commercials to try to tell you how great they are. Is it really true? If so, why are so many ads needed? Please tell us in the comments if any of these work well for you. Maybe they are better at reducing fever than reducing pain. They can do all the clinical testing they want, but in this day and age, they are difficult to actually believe. Most are funded by the manufacturer or some other group that has a vested interest in selling the product. I'd rather rely on you, the actual users, to hear your experiences. Before we move on, why are these so expensive? One main ingredient, menthol, comes from peppermint oil or can be synthesized from thyme oil. Both are herbs that are easy to grow in mass quantities, so why so expensive? Lidocaine, another ingredient in one of these topical pain relievers, has been around since the 1940s. I guess if they were cheaper, you might think they didn't work. Well, do they? Or are we just being tricked again? Remember back in episode 1.1, where I challenged you to try using less hand soap. That pump on the bottle was designed to deliver twice as much as needed to get you to waste some so they can sell more. Well, I have a few more examples of that same trick. Toothpaste. Every ad and even some boxes show a toothbrush with a giant gob of toothpaste covering the entire bristle part. Seriously? A pea-sized drop is all that you need. Too much and it just runs down your chin. What's in your mouth anyway, mud? It's important to brush long enough, roughly 2 minutes total. One on top, one on bottom. That is way more effective than a mouthful of foamy bubbles. Shampoo. Lather, rinse, repeat. Didn't my hair get clean the first time? Why do you have to repeat? Does anyone really repeat? This sure sounds to me like the second time is totally unnecessary and only there for the purpose of the manufacturer to sell twice as much shampoo. Maybe if you have really long hair or dreadlocks, you might need to repeat, but it doesn't say that on the bottle. I can't resist to point out that the word dreadlocks starts with the word dread. You know, like Goldilocks or curly locks. Just saying. Soap, toothpaste, shampoo? Are these all coming from the same manufacturers? Are they using the same tricky technique over and over on multiple products? Interesting. Did you catch the inference at the beginning of this episode? We do not all like hot dogs. My wife hates them, and we both take pride in what we put into our bodies. A hot dog is a meat. It's a type of sausage. It should only contain ingredients that you can pronounce or that your grandmother would have used when she made a sausage. Pork and spices. That's it. Not fillers, not synthetic preservatives, not fake color because the other stuff doesn't even look like meat. There are brands that only contain the few things that belong in there. Read the labels. They may cost a little more, but in this case, it makes sense. They won't last 12 months on a store shelf. Do you think a good hot dog needs a cheaper filler like chicken? Does water, modified corn syrup, modified food starch, potassium lactate, sodium phosphates, sodium diacetate, sodium ethorborate, sodium nitrite, or sorbitol? I can't even pronounce half these things. Do they belong in your hot dog or in your body? When was the last time your doctor said, your blood test shows that you are low on preservatives, you better eat more hot dogs? Okay, I am picking on hot dogs pretty big here. There are good ones, find them. Many other products include ingredients you don't want either. Avoid them all. Read the labels. They are there to inform you. See you next time when I rant on about the next thing that's stuck in my craw.